Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. An update on the Rachel Lindsay divorce from Brian Abasolo. As we know, early into 2024, we had our first Bachelor news story, which was Brian Abasolo filed for divorce, seeking some money, I guess. That's what you do, right? You get divorced, you say, I need some money. You made more than I did. Hey, I don't know all the correct terminology, but I think it's fair if that's the case. We'll let a judge decide. But now we have Rachel Lindsay already having spoken very briefly just to say, times are tough. I'm going to be okay. I'll share my story when I share my story. Well, now she says a little bit more. Not much. A little bit more. She says, I'm stronger every day. She really doesn't say much more than that, but we'll listen to her tone. We love Rachel. We love following her journey here on Bachelor Nation. And also stick around if you want additional content every day, both Bachelor and other entertainment news. If you enjoy what I do, we bring it to the podcast only. Bachelor Rush Hour. You can go to your phones. There's actually a QR code somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's one of these buttons. I got like a button for, oh, that's not it. Oh boy, I got a button somewhere for the QR code. There it is. All right, so if you actually enjoy my content, you can just turn your camera on your phone and then go right over that thing right there, and it'll take you right to the podcast. You can't mess this up. All right, here we go. So here's what Rachel had to say regarding her breakup, her pending divorce from Brian Abasolo.
I demand it. All right, we got to go. Before I go, Rachel, check in. How are you? How are things?
I'm okay. I've been, stronger every day. But I still have moments. It's such a roller coaster. I was in Aspen.
So that's really all she says. Stronger every day, which, by the way, how adorable is that? Because you can tell by the way I interpret stronger every day means she's having a really hard time. That's how I see it. And it's okay to be vulnerable and have a hard time. And I look forward to when she wants to share that without any pressure whatsoever from us as an audience. It's not our place to know, but if she does want to share, people will hear. And let's just finish off what she has to say about her ski trip. It's quite adorable.
With the girls, which I podcasted from, and did I say I went skiing for the first time? Did I say that?
Let's talk about this. You went skiing for the first time.
I've never been skiing. I've just have been against it. It's never been appealing to me. I think it's terrifying. And at the last minute, I let my girls talk me into it. I decided to book a private lesson where I could be taught. Never put on skis before anything.
I love it. This is the good stuff that comes from a divorce. She's having a eat, pray, ski type of moment. She's like, I don't need no man, hot chocolate and slopes. We absolutely love it. Now, I don't go skiing anymore because I don't want to blow out my knees because I have this fear that I'm going to just get too confident on the moguls. And next thing you know, I'm going to be stuck getting picked out of a tree. Not to mention I watched one TikTok video of a skier who's skiing down the slope and a bear is chasing it from behind. Nah, player, I'm good. I'm hanging out on the beach.
It was I was surprisingly good at it for the first time.
Nice.
To the point where we not only left the bunny slopes, we went down the mountain. And we were only supposed to go halfway, and I went all the way down.
Wow.
So there's levels, like black is the hardest, or like a double black, and then there's blue. Like the most challenging one, and then black is, and then green is the light one. And I went down a green. I went all the way down, and I was very proud of myself, and it was a very liberating experience.
So anyway, they go into something else, which kind of like derails the convo.
Making white people uncomfortable.
But then they talk about how great it was for, her to do something new, very liberating. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I mean, going skiing is great. It's a spiritual moment, partly because, and I actually felt the same thing driving a U-Haul. You're so focused on not killing yourself that you don't have time to worry about anything but what is right in front of you. So it's kind of a weird comparison, but that's how it is. I'm going to share one more thing she said on a different podcast, but that's essentially it. It's a roller coaster. I'm stronger every day. Brian, of course, we talked about, cleared up the misconceptions about the divorce, says he did sacrifice for his marriage. So he talked about what he had to do for his marriage. And again, we covered this the other day, but also said, don't blame her. She took opportunities she had to take. He said he's been living together for 3 years in LA. Not sure why people think we've been apart this whole time. Her career came first, but there were opportunities for her that were smart for her to take, which could not have been offered later. I spoke to Brian just briefly, I asked if he's okay, how he's doing. I don't know Rachel, so I can't really speak to her, but I spoke to Brian, and even though he's the one who filed for divorce, it's still a very tough time. I mean, nobody wants to know their relationship failed. It's not like their relationship was entered into by any sort of false pretenses. They thought they were going to spend the rest of their life together. That's a big deal for both of them. And I think a lot of times the person who gets dumped, like a Jason Tartick or a Rachel Lindsay, becomes the person who gets a lot of the positive attention. And then the dumper has a hell of a time, being Caitlin Bristow or in this case here, Brian Abasolo. But the truth is, sometimes it just takes the personality type to know when to pull the plug on something and take it off life support. And that can be the best thing that ever happens for the other party, for Jason Tartick, or in this case, Rachel Lindsay. It could be the best thing for her that Brian released her from whatever burden that relationship had, as much pain as this might cause. So we're happy for her. Here's a few things she said. And again, this was before the breakup, but just to share a few more clips from this podcast. Deandra Canoe, you guys can go check it out. Go subscribe. Credit where it's due here. New podcast she's got going on. She asked some great questions, but here's how Rachel describes how her normal day-to-day is. So when you hear about her on the ski slopes, just know that, someone who's got such a busy schedule, when she was working as a lawyer and trying to make it in the entertainment world and do all these things. And then eventually, you know what happens to all of us? In her case right here, she got dumped, laid on her ass, metaphorically by getting dumped, and maybe physically on the ski slopes. And you know what? She's doing just fine. She's going to overcome it, and you can too.
Early in the morning, I'd get up, go to the office, work a full day as an attorney, which
9 to 5?
9 to 5 easily, but really as an attorney, it's not 9 to 5.
Always working.
You're always working, but I would at least work 9 to 5. I'd come home, I'd try to give something to Brian, but I was watching a lot of stuff. Like, to be in you gotta watch, in this industry, you gotta watch news, pop culture, sports, just to stay on top of stuff. I'm reading stuff on the internet, so I was doing a lot of that. Or sometimes that wasn't my day. It was, I'd get up in the morning, I might go into the office for a couple of hours, I might leave and fly to LA. And while I'm on that flight, I'm reading through depositions, I'm typing up notes, I'm writing a motion. I used to call, during that time, I used to call the airplane in the airport my office. I mean, I would completely set up. That's where I could get my best work done.
By the way, I love getting work done at the airport. I absolutely love it. Ever since I got my Amex Platinum, it gets you free entry into Delta Sky Lounges and also free entry into Centurion Lounges. You get free food. You get better Wi-Fi, nice comfy lounge chairs. They usually have the TV on. Free open bar. I don't even drink, but usually they have like a Starbucks station. I think it was the one in Asheville, had its own cold brew on the kegs. You get all of that. And if you want to bring a guest, so like if I want to bring my wife, it's only $50 for her. So we can I've literally gone to the airport early sometimes just so we can have a few moments, get some work done. Then when we're on the flight, we just feel free. So I don't blame Rachel for loving the airport lounges. Where was the one recently we were in? Oh my God, was it Nashville? It could have been Nashville. I don't remember. But it was so nice. They had the little pods that I was literally making live stream videos from in there.
Go to a hotel, be on this show, but prep before I was being on that show. I was writing articles at that time on The Bachelor for Us Weekly. So I had to watch the show. So when you're writing and you're podcasting, you at least have to watch whatever you're doing twice, just to fully grasp it, one for entertainment, then to analyze it. So I'm doing all of that. I'm watching the show. I'm about to start podcasting for The Bachelor. I mean, there was just so much going on. And actually, 2018, which is fall of 2018, when I really just hit a wall. I was working as an attorney all through the week. I would leave Friday after work and I would fly to Hartford, Connecticut. Because I was doing radio for ESPN, a 5-hour radio show. I'd fly to Hartford. I'd get on a shuttle, get a rental car, and sometimes it would be snowing, which I don't do. Get in a rental car.
Well, now she does. Now she skis.
Drive from Hartford, Connecticut to Bristol, Connecticut, which is 40 minutes. So it's like midnight, 1 in the morning, because I'm catching the last flight out. Hopefully it's not delayed.
sleep, wake up, watch football all day, analyze, prep for the games, because I was doing games from the afternoon games to the evening games and then analyzing.
Okay, so she clearly shows the crazy schedule she had, and at no point within that does, where's the family time with your husband? And I don't blame her. Like Brian said, what are you gonna do? Pass up working for ESPN, your dream job? If Brian said, no, we need to work on our relationship, you can't go to Bristol, Connecticut to work for ESPN, then the relationship would have ended because of bitterness. You know what I mean? It wasn't going to work out with their career paths in the long term. So whether he dumped her or they would have come to a mutual agreement. Now, you could have said maybe give her the heads up and don't surprise her with the divorce papers. Who knows? I have no idea for tax reasons why it was done the way it was. I couldn't imagine a divorce where you surprise the other person that was like your life partner with like a surprise divorce thing, unless there's some form of infidelity, which I'm not accusing anybody of. I just can't imagine, other than really trying to F that other person, why you would do that. And we don't know that that's what Brian did. We don't know that she was completely surprised by it. Maybe they had a fight. Maybe they had a fight like they always have. Oh, we always have these fights. Every month we have this one fight that happens, and then we always say we're going to end things, and then we get back together. And maybe this time that just didn't happen. Again, this might just be fan fiction. I don't know the full story. When Rachel's ready to share it, we will be ready to listen. We'll be back with more content. I'll be live on Patreon at noon Central Time to discuss the docuseries going down for the Clayton Eckerd paternity scandal. That and so much more right after this.